Welcome to EJH British Cars. Well, since last we spoke, I stripped all the paint off of the boot lid, and guess what I found? If you guessed more crash damage and rot, you would be right. So let's take a look. So this is in the orientation to be on the car. This is towards the rear bumper, that's towards the cockpit. And here on this back corner, you can see some nice big holes where it rotted through. And then I also have another one here. And then up here, you can see it's so good from here, but there's a big dent there. But worse than that, there's the good side. And if you sight down there, that the edge of that lid is essentially a straight line. And you can see this one, the last 4 inches lean towards me. So my guess is that it got hit and the back of the car pushed here and it pushed forward, and this was jammed against the front corner and it kinked. So this would be fairly easy. The metal's actually fairly solid here except for this one weird hole. So I can just put a piece of copper behind that and weld the hole in, and then the copper will come back off because the weld won't stick to the copper. And over here, because this is really just, there's almost nothing here, this is really thin, I'm going to make up a strip, not too big, if I can stay, because there's a brace under here, right? So that rod is right here where that hole is. So if I can make a piece about 1 inch wide and go from here to there, hopefully that's really just in one direction, and then I can just cut this out and weld it in. And as you can see, there was a lot of pocket rust here. It had all paint on it, but it was so cracked that the water got down and then it attacked the surface underneath. So this is really kind of pockmarked. So I will wind up, I'll have to treat the rust, and we'll have to put a skim of Bondo on it to fill up all these holes. As I rub my hand over this, you can feel the surface doing that. So like there's a low spot right here. We'll have to see, because we're going to put Bondo on the whole thing. That'll cure an awful lot of that, but I want to get it closer than it is. So the first thing I'm going to play with today is trying to make a piece for here. So I've cut myself out a piece of fresh metal that should be big enough to fill that spot. And then I got a body dolly that fits this curve pretty well. It's not perfect, but it's darn close. So now what I need to do is transfer that angle to a line on here in the approximate position where I want the bend to be, and then we'll start to wrap it around that piece of body dolly. So I've put this where I want it, and I'm just eyeballing where the angle of that line is, and it's about like that, I think. So now I'll take this piece of metal and bend it over the dolly here. So just transfer this line onto the other side, and then hold that across there. We'll see if we can't bend that. Not exactly high tech, but a little bit more. Yeah. Not too far. So I hold that there. This is up, so that's curling off there a little bit. So I need to put a little more twist in this. Get a clamp and clamp that down. So I got it clamped down. I just hammered on it lightly so it wouldn't bend the metal underneath, but kind of get it to conform to that shape a little better. I'm going to mark my top where this is at. So I'm going to try and save this lip, because to try to get that 90 on there and this curve would be a lot of work, and I don't see any real point in that. So. You can see that's a pretty good fit to that contour. And just a little crooked. I'll probably cut a little bit more that way. And what I want to do is I want to cut this out, and there's a piece of metal underneath, so I'm going to use a wheel. But I want to cut it just slightly bigger than this tab, because you need a little gap to weld in, and then I got some special clamps to hold that together. So let me get set up with my cutting wheel, and then we'll cut this out. Just as a side note, I've noticed that after I use either one of these for more than a few minutes, the power starts to go away, and I think what that is because it's not that it's a cold day, but it's probably about 60, 65 out, and it's a bit damp, for at least for California. I think these things ice up, so I just have two. They're both inexpensive. This one I've had for about 20 years. I'd be surprised if I paid $8 for it. But just switch off and leave it sitting in the sun to thaw out a little bit. You know, when it is colder out, you have to wear gloves and a coat, because the exhaust from this thing will freeze your arm. It gets really painful. Anyway, so there's my hole, and it's still connected just a little bit in the corners because I didn't want to run the cutter past. So I'll see if I can't work that out. Well, I thought I'd give this a try. This is my spot weld chisel, and I'm just using it just to finish the edges, and that seems to work really well. There. And there it is cut out. So look how bad that is. There you go. Look how holy that is. It's almost paper thin here at the edges. You can see all the loose rust in here and everything. This is between that inner and outer brace. So clean that out a little bit. That's cleaned up a bit better, and that's the edge of this is the bracing in here, and there's also that tab where the big rubber block goes to hold up this. When you open the trunk, there's a strut to hold it open. So that's that, and that's why there's a gap between this sheet metal and that brace, and that's where the water and gunge collected. Anyway, so I'm going to shoot some primer in there too before I get much further. So it's a close fit, but it's a little tight here and there. That's all right. We'll just take the grinder and clean that off a little bit. And there it is. It's a pretty good fit. So what I'll wind up doing is I'll just like tack a couple of spots where it's right, and then I'll be able to push down or pull up on the edge a little bit, tack it around till it's square, and then I'll fill in the edges. So I slid a piece of metal from the underneath under the top skin over the brace, and that's holding this corner up level. So I'm going to do a little tack right there, and then we'll start working this thing so we get it in level. So I got that one tacked, and then just lightly clamped to hold those two levels flush, and I'll get another spot there. So it's just a little low right there, so what I'm going to do is put that in, and then I'll just hold it and tack it to keep going on that side to keep it level. Now I've got a couple more in, and now I'm working on the other side, so you just keep going around until you get it where you want it. So that's it all spotted in. I'm going to take a minute and take the grinder and smooth that out a little bit, and then I can really feel, see if I want to make any more adjustments. It's very, very close. but it's looking pretty good. Sure looks a lot better than it did with all that big freaking hole in it. So there it is, ground off for now. I need to go through on weld all the way around, and it was just a touch high there and just a touch high here. So just a ball peen hammer, a couple of light taps. I mean, we're talking, you know, like 10,000ths off, not anywhere even close to half the thickness of the metal, but just to try to get this as smooth as I can. And it might still be just a touch high right there. So just take the ball peen. Yeah, that's all it takes. Doesn't take much. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and weld that in and grind it off. And there it is, ground off. There's a couple of little voids, but we're going to put a skim coat of Bondo on here anyway, so I'm not going to bother to chase those out. Some of that's where the edges of the metal is still just a tiny bit thin here and here. The one thing about this rust, it's really pocky. So like, you know, clean, and then, you know, there's rust right next to it. So that happened everywhere. So the next thing is to get this dent out. So you can see there's still paint in the bottom, and that's about probably 1/8 of an inch deep. You can see here, that bump. This bump right here, and of course this is in the way. And this edge seems like it just flattened out. I'm hoping that I can just straighten this out without having to shrink that. So I think the first thing to do is going to be to get the dolly in here, which we can probably use that round one we used to form that piece of metal, and then hammer this a bit and see where if it moves the metal. Well, it'll move this, but whether it'll help straighten that out. So this is a really pretty good fit for that. This is a square hammer. This is a flat face. But I want to use the square hammer, so trying to get right into that corner, whereas if the round hammer, it'd be more difficult. So let's see if this will go. See, a lot of that dent is gone now. And we've still got some edge. You can see that. But we cut that angle by about half just doing that. So these are, we call them tin knocker pliers, I guess. But there's guys who do sheet metal work use these things. So they're just kind of nice to get a wide area. I'll just try to bend that up a little bit. Give that hammer a little bit more room to get in there. Yeah. I'm going to try that. So if you look down there, that's only off by maybe 3/16 now, and we've not tried to straighten that at all, as far as, you know, actually just taking this kink out. And I'm a little proud right here from the edge of the hammer hitting, but that'll be easy to flatten out. And I still got a tiny divot right there where that paint's at. This is all pretty proud, and I'll probably see if I can't just put this over the edge of the sawhorse here and lean on it a bit and see if I can't get that little kink out. So I use this chisel. Now if you'll notice, that chisel has a blunt end, so it's more like a square drift or a rectangular drift. But I use that in here because this edge right here was bent down, so there's still a tiny little bit in there. But you know the old saying, if you mess with something long enough, you will mess it up. But that's pretty much gone now, and that edge is pretty straight. It's a little bit off still down here, but by the time we get the plastic in, and I'll recontour that flange just a little bit because you can see that it's raised up from the chisel being in there. But that looks pretty good. And my patch is over there, and right there is where that little hole was. I just slid a piece of copper in between the sheet metal and that brace underneath, and just did a little quick MIG weld there and ground it off. So that's it. So there's nothing left now but all the joys of bondoing it. So what I should do is, before I put plastic on this, I'll put some phosphoric acid on it and change this iron oxide into iron phosphate so it won't be rusting underneath the plastic. But that should do it. I do have a couple of little weld spatters here I need to get off, but that's no big deal. Hope you enjoyed all that. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you next time.